Chapter 4. In this way, I had found out another important thing. Little Prince's planet was scarcely larger than a house. But this wasn't a great surprise to me. Along with the great planets, such as the Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, to which we have given names, there are also hundreds of others. Some of them are so small that cannot be seen, not even through the telescope. When such a planet is discovered by an astronomer, he calls it only by a number and not by a certain name. He might call it, for example, Asteroid 325. It is my strong belief that the Little Prince's planet is the asteroid known as B612, which had only been seen through the telescope by a Turkish astronomer in 1909. When he discovered it, he had greatly demonstrated it to the International Astronomical Congress, but he was in Turkish costume, so nobody would believe him. Grown-ups are like that. Luckily, however, for the reputation of asteroid B612, a Turkish dictator made a law that all the country's people, under pain of death, should change to European costume. So in 1920, the astronomer repeated his demonstration, stylish and elegantly dressed. This time, everybody accepted his discovery. The details and the number of the asteroid are shared with you due to the grown-ups in their ways. Every time you tell them that you have made a new friend, they never ask you anything of great significance. They never say to you, "What does his voice sound like? What games does he like best? Does he collect butterflies?" Instead, they demand, "How old is he? How many brothers has he got? How much does he weigh? How much money does his father make?" They believe they've learned things about him only by the answers given to these questions. If you would say to the grown-ups, "I saw a beautiful house made of rosy brick, with geraniums in the windows and doves on the roof," they wouldn't understand what the house would look like. You would have to say to them, "I saw a house that cost $20,000, and they would exclaim, "Oh, what a pretty house!" Likewise, you might say to them, "The proof of the little prince's existence are its charm, its laughter, and his pursuit for a sheep. If anybody wants a sheep, it is a proof of his existence." And what good would it do to tell them that? They would shrug their shoulders and treat you like a child. But if you said to them, "He came from asteroid B612, you would have persuaded them, and they would have to stop asking you anything else. They are like that. One must not bear a grudge against them. Children should always be patient toward grown-ups' behavior. But certainly, for us who comprehend the meaning of life, demonstrating figures is indifferent. I would have liked my story to have the fairy tale's beginning. I should have liked to say, "Once upon a time there was a little prince who lived on a planet that was scarcely bigger than himself, and who was in need of a friend." To those who understand life, that would have brought my story even closer to reality. The reason is that I want everyone to read my book carefully. I have suffered too much grief in setting down these memories. My friend has gone away from me 6 years now with his sheep. My description in here is to ensure that he shall not be forgotten. To forget a friend is sad. Not everyone has had a friend, and if I forget him, I may become myself a grown-up and only interested in figures. For the same cause, again, I have bought a box of paints and some pencils. It is hard to take up drawing again at my age, considering the only pictures I have made were the ones of the boa constrictor from the outside and the boa constrictor from the inside at 6. I'll certainly attempt to make portraits as true to life as possible, but success is controversial. One drawing goes along all right, and another has no resemblance to its subject. I make some errors, too, in the little prince's height. In one place he is too tall, and in another too short, and I feel some doubts about his costume's color, so I fumble along as best I can. Now good, now bad, and I hope generally fair to middling. In certain more important details I shall make mistakes also, but I won't be the one to blame. My friend's explaining was poor. He thought, perhaps, that I was like himself, but I, alas, do not know how to discern sheep through the walls of boxes. Perhaps I am a little like the grown-ups. I have had to grow old.